São Mateus favela, in the eastern zone of São Paulo, the legend of the Homem do Saco, Sack Man, was a constant whisper among the residents. They said he roamed the alleys in the dead of night, a tall and hunched man, with tattered clothes and an empty gaze. Despite the name, he never carried a sack, but the nickname stemmed from an unsolved mystery. Some said the name was tied to the unexplained disappearances of children in the area. Felipe, just 11 years old, was a clever and energetic boy. He spent his days playing soccer on the narrow streets of the favela, surrounded by graffiti-covered walls and lively alleys. Felipe loved exploring, pushing boundaries, and sometimes getting into fights with his friends. He was known for being fearless but also for ignoring his mother's advice, who always told him to come home before dark. He laughed at the stories about the Homem do Saco, calling them tales for scaredy cats. One night, after a game ended in an argument, Felipe decided to walk home alone. The streets, bustling and noisy during the day, were now silent, lit only by flickering streetlights. As he walked, kicking a stone, he noticed a strange sound, something like slow, dragging footsteps. He looked around and saw nothing. He kept walking, but the sound persisted. A shiver ran down his spine. At a narrow turn, he saw a figure standing at the end of the alley. It was the Homem do Saco, a man with ragged clothes, a scruffy beard, and a shadowy gaze. Felipe froze, his heart pounding. He tried to ignore the fear and move forward, but the figure began walking toward him, slowly, with steady steps. Summoning his courage, Felipe shouted, "Who are you? What do you want with me?" The figure didn't reply, just kept approaching. Felipe turned and ran. The alleys he knew so well now felt like a maze with no exit. Every time he looked back, the Homem do Saco was closer, moving almost supernaturally, unhurried but always gaining. Felipe found a lit alley and hid behind a pile of crates. Holding his breath, he tried to calm himself, but the sound of dragging footsteps was there, very close. He closed his eyes, and for a moment, everything was silent. When he opened them, the Homem do Saco was right in front of him. His eyes glowed in the dark, and before Felipe could react, he felt a cold hand on his shoulder. The next morning, Felipe's mother woke up and noticed he wasn't home. Searches began, but all that was found was the ball he used to play with, left in an empty alley. The favela fell silent as the stories about the Homem do Saco spread even further. Felipe was never found, and to this day, the children of São Mateus are warned never to walk alone after dark, as the Homem do Saco might still be out there, watching and waiting for his next victim. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like and share. And be careful, those who don't share might be the next to encounter the Homem do Saco. I am Dr. Felix.